I'm here today to say loud and clear, with President Trump, crypto finally has a champion and an ally in the White House. And I still own a fair amount of Bitcoin today.
So according to Vance's financial disclosure, a fair amount is up to $500,000. That's how much in his disclosures he has in Bitcoin. So you've got the vice president of the United States who owns it at this conference. And after Vance spoke, it was Don Jr. and Eric Trump's turn. And they could not stop raving about the digital currency that they also invest heavily in.
You have crypto, which solves all the problems. I'm telling you right now, everybody in the world wants Bitcoin. Everybody wants Bitcoin. Everybody is buying Bitcoin. The people that get in on the ground floors, I think, are going to make an absolute, fortune.
Once we commit to something, though, we go all in.
The brothers there together, and the Trump family on this is all in, to use the term that Don Jr. used. According to Bloomberg, the Trump family made roughly $1 billion in paper gains from crypto. So that's paper gains, right? They haven't sold it yet, but $1 billion? That is stunning when you consider that this is what Trump said about crypto in 2021.
Bitcoin, it just seems like a scam. I don't like it because it's another currency competing against the dollar.
Fast forward to today, never mind the $1 billion, it's a very different sentiment from the president.
If Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen.
I bought a hamburger with Bitcoin. They said it was the first purchase ever made, I guess, of a hamburger or something. And no, look, I'm a believer in staying at the top. This is a hot thing.
That's been a hot thing, Trump seizing the moment. He also has the Trump meme coin. Now, a meme coin is a digital coin that does absolutely nothing. It's not like Bitcoin, another form. You can buy things with it. You buy it because you think other people will buy it, and maybe it will go up. Now, to some, that might sound a little bit like a Ponzi scheme, but that is how those things work. And Trump has spent time hawking his coin. Back in January, he posted, "My new official Trump meme is here. It's time to celebrate everything we stand for, winning. Join my very special Trump community. Get your Trump money now." Now, according to Bloomberg's Zeke Faux, Trump's sitting on about $10 billion worth of these coins. $10 billion. I mean, just to think about this. He's trying to pump up the price because, again, they're only worth something if somebody else wants them. So last week, remember that private dinner that he held for people who own the most Trump coins, and people spent millions of dollars to gain access to Trump. Top 10 holders got to go to the dinner. And then there's Melania Trump. 2 days after Trump unveiled his coin, she came out with her own coin. And it's not just these meme coins that only have value if someone else wants to buy them. This past March, the Trump family launched another coin. And just a few weeks ago, we saw Eric Trump and Steve Witkoff's son, the real estate developer negotiating the peace settlement in Russia. The son announced a $2 billion crypto deal in Abu Dhabi. All of this could mean billions more for the Trumps. So you can see why this full court press to prop up crypto is a family affair. And it's not just the public campaigning that's taking place. Trump is also making moves inside the White House to safeguard his billions. And this is where policy gets involved. So last month, Trump's Justice Department disbanded the unit that was dedicated to investigating cryptocurrency-related fraud. So they get rid of the unit that's going to investigate it. And just today, back to that conference where J.D. Vance was talking about his own personal Bitcoin holdings, he said this.
Let me say it again. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa.
Okay, obviously that was the wrong soundbite. What J.D. Vance said today, and I quote him, was, "We're eliminating the rules, red tape, and the lawfare that we saw aimed at crypto by our predecessors. Maybe the most important thing we did for this community." And he went on to say, "We rejected regulators and we fired Gary Gensler." That's who you just heard Trump talking about. Gary Gensler was the SEC chair who wanted to regulate crypto. As Vance said, we reject regulators and we fired Gary Gensler. And that is exactly what has happened as the Trump family is profiting so many billions, it seems, from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Kristen Holmes is out front to begin our coverage outside the White House tonight. So, Kristen, we see what's happening here. How all in is Trump, his family, and the White House on crypto?
Yeah, Aaron, I don't think you can get any more all in. I mean, Donald Trump has said he wants to make America the crypto capital of the planet. And one of the things J.D. Vance said today when he was speaking was that crypto is here to stay. They want to make this a Main Street part of the economy. So when I talk to a number of administration officials and allies of Trump's, they say that this is a no-brainer. One, it's a way to make a lot of money, and two, this deep-pocketed industry has really started to grow in power. In fact, there are a sect of MAGA world who believes that Donald Trump was helped into the presidency by these quote-unquote crypto voters, something we heard Eric Trump even say today, that he didn't think the win would have been as decisive as it was without him. But one thing should be made very clear. The money is only made and the power is only grown through this loosening of regulations, which is not obviously done by the crypto industry, but instead by the administration. You name some of the things that Donald Trump's team has done. First of all, they have a crypto czar, which is David Sachs, a huge donor to Trump, very close to the family. He's been dealing with a lot of these crypto leaders. But on top of that, the Security and Exchange Commission under Trump, as you noted, has dropped lawsuits, investigations that the Biden administration opened. They established a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And in addition to all the investments that you talked about, both Eric and Don together announced that they were partnering with an existing crypto firm to start a crypto mining company. So every aspect of crypto now is being controlled, or at least having input, by Trump administration and Trump family. But one thing I want to make very clear, when you talk to the White House about this, they say separation of church and state. You and I have talked about this before. They will not go there when it comes to anything that they say is not related to the policy or the White House, meaning that if you ask for a comment or if you want to talk about Don Jr. or Eric's business endeavors, they say take it somewhere else that has nothing to do with the White House. But obviously, these things are all intertwined.
Yeah, obviously it has very much to do with it, as you just point out, just laying out the basic facts there. So clearly, thank you so much, Kristen Holmes. And now Kitty Drummond's with us, Global Editorial Director at Wired, Dan Alexander, Senior Editor at Forbes, and Dan Ives, veteran tech stocks analyst, and of course, one of the most recognizable traders on Wall Street, Peter Tuchman. So Dan Alexander, let me start with you, because it's not just Trump's sons at this conference. As I said, it was J.D. Vance, right, front and center. Which, you know, that's the White House, right? It's the vice president of the United States who's there. When we say crypto is a big part of Trump's fortune right now, you've done a lot of reporting on that. What does that actually mean?
Well, if you look right now, you know, we have him worth about $5 billion, and about $500 million are from his newest crypto ventures. So the meme coin and World Liberty Financial. Then recently they've announced that the Trump Media and Technology Group is essentially going to pivot toward crypto. That's worth $2.5 billion. So the majority of his fortune is now angled toward the crypto industry. And obviously keeping up the buzz, keeping up the excitement is critical for Trump's fortune.
I mean, it's really stunning. And by the way, when you think about it, as someone who comes from a business of bricks and mortar and actual buildings, to be in the space of crypto, right, to talk about polar opposite. Katie, more than half his fortune now coming from crypto. And, you know, when you look at what you're seeing today and the Bitcoin announcements and Don Jr. and Eric on that stage, how much do they all stand to gain?
I mean, this is sort of a monumental undertaking on the part of not only the Trump family, of course, but J.D. Vance himself, right? So we're talking about billions of dollars in various financial entanglements on the part of the Trump family. But additionally, right, J.D. Vance not only personally holding Bitcoin, but of course, as we have seen, you know, they're holding these fundraising dinners, right? That money with crypto investors is funneling essentially into a PAC that is designed to fundraise for future elections. So this is not only financially expedient for the Trump family and Vance on a personal level, but on a political one as well.
All right, so Dan Ives, you get the board. All right, on this. Okay, the whiteboard. So, you know, when Vance says reject regulators, okay, and we're talking about how the family is personally benefiting from that. But you had another way of looking at it, which is the market cap of Bitcoin, which is basically just the value of all the Bitcoin outstanding, would be a basic way of saying it. All right, you have that value at $2.13 trillion. All right, that is a lot of money. And I think a lot of us could just be honest with, we still don't understand exactly what that is, because I'm putting it in dollars. But it's this invisible thing. Okay, so then let's just compare this Bitcoin to Trump's favorite place these days, Canada. All right, the Canada GDP, okay, is what, 2.14 trillion? So that's basically identical. So you are talking about fire the regulators. We don't want regulation. Let's get rid of it on something where its value is equivalent to the entire GDP of Canada.
Yeah, and look, and I think the reality is that it is a bright green light in terms of the view on the markets going after Bitcoin and crypto, because regulatory has been much more de-escalated. Trump clearly is all in, and you see this, Kate talked about last week in terms of the dinner, you have the conference here, and investors are betting with Trump, not against him. And I think it continues to be the guardrails are not there, as we've talked about, even from a regulatory.
Well, when you set the rules, then you can play however you want to play.